This is AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, an almost regularly scheduled open discussion on audio and video in higher education. We'll sound off about our most brilliant ideas, our dumbest mistakes, and everything in between. And because this conversation will almost certainly go off the rails at some point, we'll end up covering just about everything else. And now, the AV SuperFriends. For October 8th, 2025, it's the best sounding and most begrudgingly scheduled podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, episode number 125. That's a lot of them.
It's a few.
That's a nice round number.
Is it?
125.
A lot of
I guess it's sort of roundish. It's in the quarters. So, well, good morning, good afternoon, and whatever time it is when you realize, wait a second,
That's not
we're
today.
recording and streaming this on the wrong day. Well, if you think about it, the weather's changing, schedules are shifting, and just like the leaves, our guests keep blowing in from completely different directions. Mm-hmm. So scheduling people is difficult. So
sure is.
Fall's here. The calendar's confused. My coffee has been reheated at least twice. It's not great. But who cares what it is when there's AV stuff to discuss? So grab your pumpkin spice patch cable, plug into your nearest network switch, and hold on to your butts, because you're tuned in for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure.
Wednesday
on a Wednesday
podcast
with the AV SuperFriends.
If you put ice in the coffee, it's now iced coffee.
And then it gets watery coffee.
Yeah.
Well, it's worth more.
Oh, I see how it
We
works.
have more coffee that is worth more.
And eventually it becomes room temperature, watered down coffee that you find in like 3 hours.
It all ends up being the same. It all
goes into the drain.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so let's say hello to today's panel of AV SuperFriends. With this one, our first panelist manages the art and science of hanging TVs in ways that inspire learning outcomes. He's an associate director of pedagogical display solutions from Kansas City. Say hello to Mr. Jamie Reinhardt.
I have found the best way is just put it flat on the tabletop, so when they lay their head down for a nap, they're soaking it all in.
That works.
Okay, that's strange. All right then.
That was a lot. That was a lot of words.
Yeah.
It was like word salad.
Jamie doesn't hang the displays. Our next panelist leads initiatives to replace. All right, hold on. Our next panelist leads initiatives to replace legacy experiences with newer legacy experiences. He's a director of experiential infrastructure modernization from Corvallis, Oregon. Say hello to Mr. Marc Kolowazinski.
You guys are going to be amazed when we look back on how we're doing this today. It's going to seem exactly the same as it was when we did it yesterday.
No, but it has to be newer.
Yeah, soon to be old.
Our next panelist has been making PowerPoint look like innovation since 2011. He's a senior specialist for instructional enablement systems from Greensboro, North Carolina. Say hello to Mr. Larry Darling.
PowerPoint has Copilot now. That is innovation.
I'll do anything. Will it just open it and do it and be done?
It's very forceful, Larry.
I'm just saying it is.
Have you tried it?
No, we don't do that. We don't actually use it.
I'm not licensed for that,
but it's there.
Yes, but I could.
That's an extra $200. Create me a slide. Would you like it to be 4:3? Of course.
Our next panelist measures productivity in vibes, meetings attended, and dashboards created. He's a vice president for integrated user success outcomes from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Say hello to Mr. Justin Rexing.
Yeah, our users ooze success.
Among other things, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just full of success.
And finally, we're joined by a special guest panelist who ensures that meetings fail equally across all platforms. He's a coordinator of distributed collaboration environments from Dallas, Texas. Say hello to Mr. Chris Gaut.
Happy to be here.
Equal opportunity.
Chris, you sure you want to hang out with us on the stuff? It's this for an hour and a half, so no.
Work from home, baby.
It doesn't get any better. No.
It's this for the next hour. Okay, Justin.
I got stuff to do.
No, we don't. So on today's show, we're going to discuss what to do when everything on a project just seems to go wrong. And we're going to discuss mixed-use rooms that seem to need surrounding sound. But first, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. If you are catching this live as recorded MP3, remember we do stream live most Fridays. And I say most Fridays because today's Wednesday. But usually most Fridays at about 3:15 Eastern, 12:15 Pacific, or whenever we get our act together. Yeah, you can join us for that on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we can... No, you can't join us for that live on Blue Sky because they don't do streaming but you can follow us on Blue Sky.
Even still a thing? Is that going on?
There's
still?
3 people on Blue Sky. For the 3 of you on Blue Sky. If you can't make it live, please do follow us on their socials on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Blue Sky, and all that fun stuff to keep up with us. Just search for AV SuperFriends. There's only one group named that, and that's us. So there you go. If you have a topic that you want us to tackle, if you want us to look into something, or you want to just yell about things, please send us an email at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com or hit us up on the aforementioned socials. While you're at it, please rate and review this nonsense on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to this. Please go in and leave a rating, preferably a positive one, but be honest.
Anything works.
That helps because the more activity that ratings get see, it moves it up in the algorithm, and more people who didn't mean to will inadvertently click on the link, and then they will download and listen to the podcast.
Would that work the other way? If we were just so terrible, and maybe we are, like that would be shocking too. They're just like, oh man, have you heard the worst podcast ever? Check this out.
I think we're there.
We might be.
Yeah.
I think
We might be.
that's
Yeah.
The worst podcast?
Yeah.
Sound good, but worse content.
Yeah.
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 And finally, please go out and spread the word about this. Share with your friends, colleagues, enemies, AV consultants, integrators, manufacturer representatives, anyone who might have
or
anything
maybe
to do with
just
us.
not share them with the consultants. Just like
Why?
what?
No, they need to hear
That
it.
could be useful.
The more people who
consultants
listen, the more
realize
likely
that
we'll
you
keep
can
doing
do
this
that,
nonsense, and eventually we'll do something worthwhile. But for now, it's just more of this stuff. All right, so there you go. And now that you've waited for it all week, you get to hear Justin sing along.
Waited for it.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I screwed up.
Uh-oh.
Let's take a quick break because Jamie's freaking out over there.
I was like,
Yeah.
do.
Hold your horses,
Get the
Justin.
house
We're going
in
to take a quick
order.
break. We're going to do some Halloween-themed
house
stuff
in
here
order.
so Jamie doesn't murder me from telling him we're doing stuff out of order here, which we're not. So,
Go.
All right. Back in 38 seconds.
He waits in the shadows of network closets. He stalks the hallways and forgotten classrooms. And he has only one target: obsolete electronics. They call him the Ether Killer. One plug, and the old network switch flatlines. One jolt, and the zombie Blu-ray player finally stays down. No mercy for mixers. No parole for 360 cameras. Ether Killer doesn't just end life cycles. He leaves nothing but e-waste corpses. The Ether Killer. Old hardware never sees him coming. By Independent Amalgamated.
So there you go. There's your Ether Killer out there to get rid of your old stuff.
Are we having qualitative streaming problems, Larry?
So many. Yeah, there's lots of drops.
Really?
Yeah,
From me or from everybody?
from everybody. So it's an equal opportunity drop.
Well,
So-
all right. Thank you, StreamYard, for your inability to actually create a stream. It's in your name, so work on it.
well, Wednesday is a known heavy hotbed of streaming activity.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Allegedly.
I thought you were being serious.
I
think
make
you're full
shit
of
up
shit.
all the time.
Yeah, full of shit.
All right, so now you waited all week for you get to hear Justin sing along with our theme song here.
Oh, do.
Hold your horses.
Yeah.
By the way, Larry, interestingly enough, neither of the two computers I'm on right now have that little, like, your StreamYard link is poor, so...
No. None of us are claiming on this side that things are bad. It's post.
Apparently it's just Larry.
I don't know because you guys don't let me in the back end administrative.
Don't worry about what's going
That
on.
doesn't help you.
Don't
We
worry
have to
about
see
that.
the outbound stream, so...
Don't worry about
I'm
it.
like the outsider. Like I'm not allowed in, and there's like they got all
Just
these
not the
buttons
back
and
end.
gadgets and tools. I'm just like, somebody let me in, and it's like this whole thing. Y'all are really missing out. It's
You were
really
you were not given consent to come in the back end.
And am I paying for the bill out of my account that I'm not allowed in? Is that
That's
right?
not your account.
It is now because you're not here on Fridays.
All right. Anyway.
All right, so
Moving on.
And the news.
So the news, it's not a news story, and I couldn't find the news story. If anyone finds
there was
one,
no news. It was just like,
yeah,
by the way.
it's a product announcement, and we're not covering it from the standpoint of this is a cool product sort of thing, as much as because we don't generally do that sort of as a news story, but the ramifications of said product announcement. So this is the Zoom announcement. This is the Zoom video management platform. Okay, that sounds fine. Zoom can do video. Yeah, we get that. No. Panopto, Kaltura, Yuja. This is a shot right
This is
across
for
the bow
you
of every
all.
one of those. It is full featured. It brings all the Zoom stuff that comes with your Zoom rooms, and it works with non-Zoom rooms as well. It has basic editing, all the stuff that you get in the other ones, but obviously very tight integration with Zoom, and best part, LTI integration across the board for all of your learning management systems, Sakai, Canvas, D2L, whatever you're doing, Blackboard. So there are permissions things with that. I was on a webinar for this the other day. They spend a huge amount of time covering the LMS and LTI permissions. So Mark, I know you're wiggling your finger already because you can probably hear Raul in the other room shouting about that's not what it means. I think this as a 1.0 product,
correct, yeah.
This will grow into it. I think the real interesting thing about this is, I think clearly Zoom was leaving money on the table by immediately shipping all this stuff to some other platform.
Yep.
But if they're just going to say, hey, we can skip a step on this, just keep it all in our platform and still integrate with your learning management system, seems like a win-win to me.
I think that's the baseline, like, welcome mat story. I don't know if that's really, I think this is more of an AI play, and you all can plug your ears. But from what I'm seeing in this marketing material, this is really showcasing the transcript pieces, the summaries, all the other search engagement, the tagging, all of that additional stuff. I think
the automatic
is really
summaries,
what
the templates, all that stuff. And they spend a huge amount of time.
Yes.
So if you get a chance to sit in on this, they spend a huge amount of time on that style of stuff. So all those, to your point, all that ancillary stuff that comes with Zoom meetings, calls, now all that, apply that to your entire like learning management system video library. And all the quizzes, all of that stuff dumps right in. So they're basically building on top of their existing platform and then integrating with your LMS. Very cool.
Because I think that's the whole secret sauce here, is that you need all that data context. No? Okay.
No.
I will be wrong. Go ahead and go.
What do you mean no, Larry?
Well, you said no. I was
No, you
curious
said
'cause-
no.
No.
Well, you said no. I was saying, why are you saying no? Because I was going to say, as a campus that's moving off of Panopto, that had all those features because of the cost, I think the ease that this integrates and the way that they're handling the cost of their storage is going to be enticing to a lot of schools out there.
I think I think the hardest part of this right now are for those who've already made decisions and have one of these other service providers.
Like jumping into Teams room too fast?
No,
because you're in the
maybe.
Northwest?
But even if you're anywhere, I think this is perfect for the schools that maybe couldn't go out and do the Kaltura thing or the Panopto thing, but they've been using Zoom. Now this gives them a whole bunch of additional feature set that, from what I see, is every bit as good and as powerful, and gives them that AI strategy, all that piece baked in, where maybe once before they weren't tall enough to ride that ride. Maybe this is now their gateway to actually start making use of that. And I don't know, like it's super cool and super intriguing to me.
I think Mark's talking about us.
I don't know.
Pointing any fingers.
What are you guys on?
It would be easy. It would be easy. We're right in the middle of trying to figure out what our lecture capture system is going to be, because, we've had Media Site and we're trying to figure out how to
to be clear,
do that anymore.
This is being positioned as a lecture capture. It will do that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's what
a
I'm saying, is maybe
byproduct.
we can explore leveraging this and not.
Because you can
go
use
into
Zoom
a
to be your
full-
lecture capture to start with. But
That's what we're doing.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's a little bit of a
this is all the
training
back
and
end stuff.
adoption
So
thing. Yeah.
Well, that's what we do. I would say most of our Zooms that are happening in classrooms are single person Zooms with just the instructor, the camera, the lecture mic.
That's smart.
Going.
And that's what you want now. It's people, I think, overlook and automatically assume, well, if I'm doing Zoom, that implies I have distance students. It's like, no. You need the camera and microphone just to capture what's going on, so you can use it to have these insights and all this additional data. You just want meeting analytics and all that summary and stuff to feed that AI monster. That's the play of this to me.
And you might have distance students. It just might not be asynchronous course. And when I say asynchronous, that gets
you might
confusing, but-
not be an
Yes.
synchronous
Call
call.
out your,
Exactly.
your
But,
punctuation and commas and stuff. So
exactly.
Yeah, I got you. We're with you. So I don't know. This is like the consolidation of service, right? And I think if I was a Kaltura or Panopto or one of those other like ancillary providers of media storage, now arguably they're doing this same kind of stuff, but I think we're all looking for more elegant approaches in where we can kind of collapse down some of that piece. And this is hard to not look at.
Well, so Mark, my question is, what about the flip side? So we're using the Panopto integration. At some point, do you think Zoom will start turning off the taps and not being as friendly with those other sites to push users towards their video management platform?
I could see them taking like
something we don't, Chris.
I could see them
Who do you know?
I could see them taking like a Microsoft approach, where say, hey, we're going to give you this, but this many queries per year, you're good for this point. But if you go over that, it's going to be a different cost model, right? So we're not just going to let you do it for free anymore on the API.
Yeah, because I mean, as you said, if they're number one trying to bring the small schools, pardon me, those who you hit the nail on the head, who were big enough to ride the ride, they're going to get some early adopters, right? But how, what are they going to do for larger schools like mine, where we have a Panopto Canvas integration? And I'm sure your users are just like my users. They don't like change. Right. They don't like learning new things, right? This is how I teach. Get out of my way.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, how is Zoom going to change my users and push them to that platform?
And I think that's the secret of the LTI. Right, is like if we're all looking at our LMS as like the gateway to access our media and all of our course materials, it needs to align with those workflows very clean right now, so that there's like very little hiccups. Like, I don't think the users care where the storage of their media sits. All they want to know is that when I go to my class and go to my page, it's there as the link works, right? And then you have all those additional features that works as well. Like, so that's how Zoom's, I think that in their language, they're addressing that. Like, hey, here it is. It works very clean with these things. So you should see minimal disruption in kind of your workflow. So I think they've done a lot of the due diligence. And those that have been close enough to know about Zoom have kind of sensed that this was coming over the last couple months. It just wasn't the big announcement ever made. I don't know if there really was a big announcement. This might be one of those secret things that are just going to kind of roll out and people are going to be like, hey, did you see this? And then it gets grassroots. Jamie, you're all in, right? That's what I'm hearing.
I got
so y'all remember?
Well, I mean,
way to contribute, Jamie.
It takes a person out of the step here. I mean, for us, they're already using Zoom or Panopto to record lecture capture and or calls of some sort, right? And you get so much storage in Zoom. And then it pumps over to Panopto, and then automatically. So we're just taking out a middleman. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, what's it suck for? Anybody that signed a contract within the last 6 months with one of these other providers that already has a Zoom instance. But honestly,
it pays off to delay those decisions.
I think
keep
that
delaying,
never making the decisions.
Good comes along,
never
and
make
you're like,
a
hey,
decision.
look at this.
I actually see some benefits in it, and as far as folks. One of the things that we consistently battle, my department really doesn't deal with the Zoom and the licensing and everything else. It's there, it's provided. We need to know how to use it. Provide video and audio, and let's just go. Mm-hmm. But I think one of the things we continuously have to train people on is if they want to use Panopto for their classroom capture, it's a different software, a different step. And every Zoom is ubiquitous now. Everybody knows how to use it. And if you're on a different computer than the one that's provided, how can you or your iPad, how can you get Panopto on your iPad to connect to your, it's just done. It's federated. It's on the SS. I think Zoom's got some interesting things going on with it. They had their Zoomtopia not too long ago.
And they technically announced this there, but it was they're kind of sandbagging the announcement in my opinion on this one. So they didn't come out guns blazing. Yeah.
So for me, it's interesting to hear you guys all talk about it. I think it's interesting little news tidbit that it came out, and we'll see how it impacts. But in these going forward, we all know that our schools, our universities, businesses, everybody's going to be looking at contracts. They're going to be looking at budgetary impacts. They're going to be.
I don't know the costs at the scale. If it is 1-to-1, like I'm really intrigued on like what that storage costs and that usage kind of piece is, but.
And I think the AI part is absolutely right on. I think now they can leverage their own algorithms inside their own little thing, and you're not parsing that out to another third party who's doing another thing. It's right there in their deal. It's easier for them to sell.
Did everybody,
the keyword security? It's easier for them to sell that.
You heard it too.
Anybody else pick up on that? That
I'm not going to say
Jamie
anything.
said something positive about AI.
Just
I was going to say that,
man.
but they're going
That's how it starts. So it's like that scene in Star Trek 2. You get the
It's
worm
not
in
that
the
I don't have
ear.
anything positive about AI. It's just I'm not using it very much.
But I think you're going to see a lot of universities. They're going to have to come out and say, well, what's your AI strategy and how are you addressing AI in the learning space? This is almost a way to get out of jail free here for folks to say, oh, well, we have it right here, right? Bang, here's transcripts, we're using it, and we're bringing it to the forefront. And my guess is you will see the model grow. You will see more capability. You'll see integrations with the big models, whether it be Claude or GPT or whatever. You're going to see it in this. Right? Yeah, whatever, right? It's going to be in there. Or maybe they'll give you the option to use your federated one of choice as an API MCP play. I don't know, but it's going to grow. This is setting the stage for that. I think it's a slight tweak of what they've already had and just kind of refined it and rolled it out. So I think it's good on them for being able to rethink what they currently have and kind of redress it and spruce it up a little bit.
Yeah, and so I guess, and I didn't bring this up at the outset, but like my interest in this, and Chris, you brought it up, like faculty don't like change. They'll figure out their workflows. They're experts in their field. They begrudgingly deal with the IT stuff because they have to, but they don't want to focus on that. They get that out of my way. Let me do my teaching.
Yeah, I got these slides.
And everyone's comfortable with
76. I'm not updating them right now.
Well, and everyone got comfortable with Zoom a couple of years ago. They were legally required to get comfortable with Zoom. So everyone knows, okay, there's a red button, I can click record, or if I'm in a Zoom room, it can automatically start recording. But it's like that delivery side where it shows up in my Canvas shell, in my Blackboard course, it shows up in my Sakai instance, wherever that is. As long as I can go to the thing that says videos, and I can find my video, oh, there's my video from this morning, post, let me write up some questions for it.
Done.
If that's there and that workflow is, let's say, 90% the same, I think we'll be okay. If that workflow is dramatically different, then there's going to be major problems with it. And I think Zoom is well aware of that and working on it. So I'm cautiously optimistic that workflow will streamline. And right now, it will save us a step because for us, it's you click in Zoom, it goes to the temporary Zoom storage, it gets moved over to Yuja. You go to Yuja, or you go to Canvas, you grab the Yuja thing and you bring the video in. There's like that extra intermediary step. If this removes one of those, even if that process is a little bit different, but it removes one of those steps, then I think everybody's happy.
Yeah, simplify it. Elegance.
Hopefully. Yeah. And then you get all the Zoom stuff, the AI summaries, stuff, right? The whiteboarding, all the stuff you get in Zoom is now part of your course materials, which is kind of interesting.
Sounds like we need to buy Zoom stock.
Yes,
everyone
does
AVSF have a stock
everyone
account?
buy Zoom stock
we need an
for
AVSF
Justin.
stock account, Justin. Work on that. Get that set up for us.
We don't.
Are we going public?
No.
All right. Who gets to ring the bell?
We need to invest our diversify our
This is
holdings.
escalating way too quickly. We got simmer down a little
Okay,
bit.
we're over time. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on video platforms, delivery, lecture capture, any of this? I will say they did bring up, because the question came up, and like, does it work with my appliances, with my Epifans, my Panoptos, my
No.
who's the other? Not Panopto. Extron, and what's the other one that starts with an S? I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, the answer is yes, it does. You can as long as you can set up those permissions, it can still deliver to that. So I think they're aware of all the boxes they need to tick. So at least they come out with a 1.0 that is full featured or very close.
Stop using the boxes.
Kind of seems like this industry is going to where universities are going to be like a Microsoft or Zoom campus.
We already
everybody uses Microsoft to some degree.
Please refer
right?
to like our first season of shows we did. Like we just explored
but now
that whole thing.
I thought Zoom was kind of going away. Just like they haven't really done anything in a while. Their stock has been going down. We haven't talked a lot about them. They haven't released any new stuff. And then here they are, kind of like, oh, now it's pretty big news.
Seneca. That was the name of the company.
The future.
Trying to think of
search in box.
10 minutes ago, Justin said, should we buy Zoom stock? Now he goes on saying it's been going down.
Well, I was asking you, so you've been
This is not professional investment advice.
He's driving it down so he can buy early in the morning.
Buy
is
low,
what I'm hearing.
sell high, projecting
is that
forward.
what I've been doing wrong? Oh.
It's not hard. It's easy.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to talk about projects going awry and all that fun stuff.
Oh, great.
The AV Super Friends are sponsored by Computer Comforts Incorporated. CCI has been building tech furniture for the education market since 1987. Instructor lecterns, computer lab tables, collaborative tables, and active learning clusters are just a few of the many innovative products made by CCI. Speaking of lecterns, Computer Comforts has just released Evolve. If you're looking to future-proof your classroom, Evolve is the Swiss Army knife of lecterns. Seriously, this flexible lectern does it all. Not only is Evolve sit-to-stand and ADA compliant, it's also packed with tech-friendly features. And the best part, it ships fully assembled and ready for action. Check out the 90-second video to see all the options. Visit computercomforts.com/evolve. Let's see this one, right? Because I paid for it.
Topic 1 starts now.
So topic 1, what happens when projects don't go well? What happens when we get handed a project that's in flight and things haven't been fully well thought out? Maybe your display is way too high. Electrical's over there. What the heck is this thing? Why is that over here in this spot?
This could go anywhere.
Justin, do you want to maybe give us a...
Nope.
I prepped him this morning. Justin, can you give us a 5-minute version?
Nope,
So
we're gonna
3
mute
minutes.
it.
2 minutes.
2
No,
minutes.
he's been muted.
60 seconds,
No,
Justin.
I want to hear it. All right. I'll
This
let
is
him
what I
come back.
mean by them, gaslighting me and keeping me out of the admin panel. So part of this, and I don't think
Start at the beginning.
everybody on this call thinks that this is important based on prior conversations. Maybe
Dinner.
Chris does.
We're getting dinner.
Wait,
Chris
what?
is, but you other
I don't know what it is
4,
yet.
1, 2, 3, 4. You other 4,
Man.
just listen.
Are we picking
So-
sides?
When we're talking about what happens when a project goes bad, what are we doing? Yeah, let's see what happens when everybody merges back over. People normally have some kind of control. So there's a big difference here where you know about the project, maybe you don't have input in it, whatever it is, versus having a project where you do care about it, that you want input, but you're told, no, we don't want your input. We don't need you for this project. So that's kind of setting the expectations of, okay, well, the people running this project and the project managers think that they can do this without us and do a better job because we're always the last ones in. So we always get blamed for it. We all know how construction projects work, whether it's really the AV people's fault or not, whatever. So here we are with a building on our campus where we were basically told that we don't need IT. And so time goes on. This has been a course of 2 years.
Never going to need it.
And here we are. And we've had a lot of debates behind the scene about it, especially Marc and I, about why don't you just go fix it? It's like, well, when you have contracts, let's say school starts and the project's not done, and there's contracts saying that this company has to finish before you could even help. You're not even allowed to self-perform on the job. You are instructed not to go into the building and do any work. So there's not really anything you can do. You have to watch it crumble, even though you know how to fix it. You could probably fix it in one day with you and your team. Or then there's the other projects where you are involved, things go awry, and you jump in because you have stake in the game because you are a true stakeholder. So there's a lot of differences in how you handle those two scenarios and those two projects. How much ownership do you have? Because if you're told the whole time we don't need you, and then things blow up at the end, and they're still telling you we don't need you, there's nothing you could do. You just have to watch it burn.
And I think that's you're talking about process, really, right? Process and,
It's
and
all about
legal
process
and contracts and all
yeah.
that stuff. But I think, and that's why at the onset of this, I said this is so wide because I think if the public had access to the back channel AVSF drama that it has been unfolding around this project.
Do you want me to give them access?
No,
to
I don't want to do that because
just
it's
make
ugly.
it public.
So I want to have this conversation of okay, here we are, classes start tomorrow. Whatever you just rattled off for the last 3 minutes may be true, may not be true. What actions do you take, whether legal or not? Because I agree with you. Yes, we may have been told in contractually, blah, 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 I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
The instructor is going to show up there and tomorrow morning and expect that to turn on or something to be there. How do we navigate that? Because it's not pretty and it won't be perfect, and it's going to require people running and jumping through hoops and all these things, and just to accommodate. But I think we navigate that differently. And I think
I completely agree. Like, I think it's because me and Mark both come from the production background a little bit, and the show must go on. Like, we're going to figure out a way to make that event happen.
Let me ask you then these two questions. So if you're in that production and you see the fire happening on stage and your boss says, if you touch that, you're fired, what do you do?
I'm going to save people's lives.
And so you're going to go up there, and I'm not literal fire, just an AV nightmare.
I'm going to do what I can to make it work.
You're not saving lives, so you go make it work, and then you lose your job the next day, and you're okay with that.
I don't think you would have lost your job, but that's a story for a different time. I think the moment that the classes begin, we've taken ownership. The campus is now liable for that whole experience, whatever or not, don't care. Whatever project fumbling happened, and we've been in the exact same boat you've been in, Justin, and we have come in, and
so
yes,
we've been told that we don't
no.
want your help or knowledge.
We've been
or
told that this is not
this.
your scope at all, and you're not doing any of the build or anything. But we know at the end of the day, the Monday classes begin when the deadline
so let me
has
ask you this
met
question.
that time.
So
we have to do something. Something. Anything.
Do you literally hold the integrator's hand and pull them out of the room and say, get out of my way so I can finish? Or
they're not going to be there at that point anyway. They're gone.
And I can put a system together
right.
that bypasses their
and that's,
stuff.
Yes,
I have to.
And that's what we're talking about. We've taken measures to run cat cables and extenders and taping them down and providing things just to get something going.
But we can't do that because the electrical inspector said that we can't by state law. Like we're not able to do that.
Can't and won't are not the same thing. So you won't do that because somebody told you shouldn't.
We all like our
do
jobs.
That is not necessarily true.
We were told we weren't needed.
And I think this speaks to like the internal minutia. Yeah. And I think Larry and I may be on the same page, which is rare to say that.
It happens once a year.
Just keep talking. He's going to drift.
The more you talk, the less
But and that's where it's interesting because I think your point's 100% valid, Justin, is that there are legal issues that we often will have to confront, and that it's contract. And yes, if you go in and you change something, yes, you're giving that integrator an out. I get it. So you have to do what you can to not address what they have done and leave that intact as long as it may be.
WKU and the client said, we are tired. The client being the school that I'm talking about, right? The college, if you will. We are tired of this integration, this whatever's happening. Why is all my stuff not working? IT, please come help us.
Sure.
We would be the first ones in there helping because now we're like, you get out of our way so we can come save the day. But that's...
And I'll do my best now to come over to your side, Justin, is that sometimes in higher ed, you have to make a very definitive problem. And IT needs a problem so that a project can begin. And so sometimes we have to get through very elaborate things. We've taken ownerships of buildings and contractually the systems, and we've been consulted and told people what you're going to do will not work. And we've had to take ownerships of broken systems. Chris, you lived it with us when in the buildings we had.
We'll eventually do that.
It only took like a year to fix, Mark.
Right. And so
whenever that's the warranty goes out,
you're going to be on both sides of it.
I don't know.
But at the end of the day, leadership often knows. It's a threshold for your leadership to say, I understand the contract and I understand that language is there. However, the impact on student in teaching and experience, that is being compromised way too much right now. We have to do something.
And that happened. And they still went after the contractor and said, contractor, you must finish. And they gave them a deadline, and the deadline passed, and nothing happened.
But I think there was an overstep in saying you couldn't do anything. I think that's a misstep. There's things you could have done. So
I agree with that.
The jurisdiction of your actions were not correct.
We could have fixed it in one day. I know that. 100% factual. One day, all these weeks passing, we could have fixed it. We mentioned that.
Right.
You get them out of our way. We'll go in there and fix it, but we can't have two people working on the same system while they're getting yelled at by people. They're trying to get paid. we're in their way, 2 people in 1 rack. I just don't understand.
I think temporary measures are one thing.
How that works.
Adjusting other people's work is a different thing. And that's not, I'm not saying that.
No,
right.
And that's where what I was going to get into is, I have been in this situation, and I will typically let it burn for a few days, maybe the first week, just so to kind of prove the point of.
I told you it was going to blow up in your
I
face.
told you so. I mean, sometimes we have to say, I told you so. Like, you employ me to be here, to be an expert of this.
To not let this happen.
And so but in that time, let's say the display's already hung. I've been known to give them a remote control and an HDMI cable to the second input. And it's just, literally is hanging from the ceiling. That way, we're not screwing with programming. We're not screwing with shape. We're not screwing. But they can still do something. And now I'm quasi-hero. But I've still kind of let it die for I want some pain to be felt. A little bit.
It's the season. Yeah.
But then again, we have to. In your case, like some administrators somewhere said, by God, we're going to have courses no matter what, hell or high water. This is going to happen. And somebody in your case went through so far as to say, stay out of it. Okay, the edict has been given.
Both of those things happen.
You said, and this is where the "I told you so" come in. Is like, well,
here we are.
Are you sure? Because I could do this, and we can still hold their feet to the fire. But most of the time, when it gets up to that final date, they've already got 3/4 of the payment.
Mm-hmm.
So they're walking away from a quarter.
I don't really
of their
care if they get paid or not. It's not really what I care about. It's about this. It's about the faculty and students, and like we're all on the same page with that. But there's a point where you just can't help because you have too many guardrails put up by administration.
You start asking them like we want them to be financially punished. We want to push back on integrator. We want to do this, but it's just not feasible. And sometimes I've even said that. It's like, look, how much do you owe them? Well, like $10,000. Screw it.
I have no idea.
Let's just go because we're ruining courses right now.
So, but in the conversations, Justin, I'm curious because we weren't there. You were in a lot of this, and maybe there's other people can chime in. It's one thing to point out the problems, and that's great, and then you can seem like the bad guy, right? Oh, this is why IT never gets involved. All they do is just come to the table with blah, 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 blah. And you've voiced a lot of that through this journey, but do we all come to the table with solutions?
So I wrote 5,500 words when the design review came through. 5,573.
Sure, but that was addressing.
I'll never forget that number.
That's
how many words was in my write-up. Problem, solution. Problem, solution. So what they did.
But that's addressing wholesale design.
Hold on. Everywhere that added scope and added cost, guess what? Chris knows. Yeah. We'll do that. Anything that reduced cost and added efficiency and reduced profit, no, I don't want to do that.
Right, because they're already. And
I was like, no, you can't just pick this and not that because now you've got even more problems.
They look at this. You gave them a menu. I'll take one of these, one of those, and make my own little value meal. No, that's not the way. It was
just that many problems with that many solutions.
But I'm talking about after the fact. Problem. So you saw this train coming, or you saw a light coming in this dark tunnel, and you're like, I think that's a goddamn train.
So the problem was,
but when they got closer, did you come to the table like, here's how we can remediate to make things functioning right now? Not addressing the programmatic things and all the installation stuff, but we can come in the room in the cloak of darkness in the middle of the night and lay down in a couple of extenders and get things functioning.
Oh, people know that we've done that before.
Right. And so were you turned down on that, though? But did you come to the table and express that?
No, any solution. We don't step foot in the building. It's under contract. It's construction. It's not even TCO.
And there's, I think, where we get a little bit squirrely.
We're not allowed.
If you're not allowed, then how the hell are the students in there?
So how would you... Aha! Now
they're all wearing hard hats.
They're not. Now we're asking correct questions, Mark, because they were in there.
Mm-hmm. Do they have network and computers, and so everybody but AV?
I'm curious of how, if you don't have TCO, how anybody's in the space. Full stop. Yeah. I don't care what trade you are.
Great question. I don't know when the TCO happened. I don't know because we were not part of the process. Like we're kept out. Like we're just hearing things from the inspector because the inspector knows us because they inspect our jobs too.
Is this a good old boys club thing?
No. Okay. Not for us.
You guys are in the good old boys club. You don't know any different. Yeah,
we don't know. We're not in any club. We're just being told shit. We don't know.
We just went down to the diner, had a cup of coffee, and
we just heard all this stuff.
Passed a $100 bill across the table. No problem.
So the fallout of this was semester started in mid-August, and every room that was a classroom was blinking the entire time up until Monday and its fall break.
Like the lights, and the manufacturer, like the projectors. What are we talking blinking? Like just a light on the wall?
Every display flashing.
Fire alarm? Yeah, okay.
For content, HDCP stuff, network issues, things like that. Sure. And these are all network islands. It's not like IT was integrating and doing all this fancy. It's just network islands. Mm-hmm. Right?
Love it.
And
was it on Juniper systems?
No, they're on Netgear switches. So, it ended up being HDCP stuff, but they flew the manufacturer out.
Who we know well.
Sorry, who fixed the issue in a day or so, which is basically...
Yeah, but that's like just log in, push this button, and you're done.
Right, Mark?
I know.
Why is that so hard for the integrator to do?
But it's still...
But you know what? You know what happened? The integrator consultant for... I don't know how long. Guess what their synopsis was of the situation? It has to be the PCs that were given to us by WKUIT. So let's
just all agree it's never our fault. It's always somebody else's fault with all things construction.
Oh, no.
It's like, wow. And so it's like, okay, so if I plug in this other laptop that doesn't have a WQ image on it and it still blinks, how is that an IT problem?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Owner furnished, buddy. Owner furnished.
But it wasn't owner furnished. It was just some random laptop.
It was their laptop.
I think
it was their laptop.
I think there's wholesale construction process here.
Yes.
I want to let's shift a little bit and let's explore.
How about go internal?
Here's the end of the story.
Yeah.
Is that it resulted in me designing the new building where I'm creating all of the documentation. That's going to get bid out. We oversee the AV project process. We sign off on the basic programming, turn display on and off, here's sound, all that great stuff, cable labels. Then our team comes in and configures and programs everything after the building's turned over to us.
We're going to need to know the date when your team goes in there.
Mm-hmm. This is the new project, Cherry Hall. This is not the other one.
So this project aside, Justin, have you ever rappelled down from the rafters with an extender and a Cat5 reel and an adapter with a computer and a projector to make a room work?
Yeah.
You have. Okay. And I think that's the moral of the story is I think when the time comes, we all roll up our sleeves.
And we're allowed
the allowed to thing I'm not going to acknowledge.
That's the problem with this.
You have weird jurisdiction things.
Project.
And so, but I think, is that normal for us to say, yes, push comes to shove, whether the night before or earlier in the morning before classes, it is normal for us to roll out there and get out there and put in temporary solutions to find workarounds.
I've got a system right now that we're putting in that needs a touch panel, and we're putting the old button panel back in just to get it working because we're not done yet. I mean, they'll be fine. They'll have
remote
class
control
on Monday.
Cat5 extender.
We do that all the time.
So to Mark's point, about a decade ago, we had a new academic building come online, and I think we all might have lived this nightmare that somebody convinced someone to buy one giant HDBaseT switcher.
Those are the best. Good for you.
Yes. The building-wide system.
We're doing that again now.
And
that's on you, Larry.
That's all of us in the industry right now.
We fought so hard to get Apple TVs literally above the projectors. And they said, well, we can do that, Chris, but the projector only has a DVI input left. So you're never going to get audio. And I was like, what? And they go, yeah, it only had one HDMI input, and we used it for the system.
Mm-hmm.
And so
the RMC scaler we put up there.
My boss and my boss and my office mate, they met every class, every hour from January to spring break.
Yes.
And they were completely out of the rotation for half a semester. They took no other calls. They took on no additional work. And that's all they did was just shuffle up and down 3 floors until.
How was it coming in late at night to actually change the program on that?
No, the integrator came in at spring break with a parachute and bought the correct parts. So I mean, yeah, to your point, that's what we do. We come in. I can't imagine the story that Justin's telling, and obviously there's a lot of backstory there.
Here's the thing: at the very beginning, if they would have said, "Hey, we want your input," and they said that, but they wanted us to just be a fly on the wall in meetings and not speak. Like, we're not allowed to speak in meetings.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. So
my personal favorite is when you get invited to the meeting and then they take your notes, but but every week you have the same 5 items, and you're like, "But what happened last time?" They're like, "No, we're moving on." We're like, no, but you didn't.
We've addressed that when we met with the stakeholders early on, so we're not going to go back. It's like, oh well, thanks.
So
why are we even here?
We didn't have any controller sign off. There was no control of the process, no idea of schedule, no idea if they were even late. How do we know if they're even behind? We're just seeing vans show up and they're working late, and we're adding 1 and 1 together going, we see boxes unopened in the windows. Like, we're looking in windows going, there's all these boxes there. Tomorrow's class. What are you doing? I don't know. Are they done? I don't know. That was our viewpoint.
I like the idea of you and your team sitting out there against the glass.
We have pictures of him looking in the window.
Because the police took a picture of him looking in the windows.
Well, I don't care about that. Please tell me.
Body cam footage of the police taking pictures of him.
Police are very familiar with Justin.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that.
It's a story for another day, Chris. Story for another day.
So, but if we were involved and we knew the integrators, and it was like some kind of relationship, just some even 10% of a relationship, and they said, "Hey, we need your help." I'm like, yeah, all right, we'll jump in. That's fine.
So have you had?
We don't want to work.
You've mentioned that some of your leadership is very concerned about the public perception. Like when we've had some crazy spaces, we've had faculty that are like wrote into the newspaper about how wasteful these things had been.
You're kind of dealing with one now anyway.
That's where I think our leadership is like, well, what can we do to address these things? We don't want to have bad press out there around these things. And so I think coming from that production, like the show must go on mentality, like we want to make sure that we are not subjected to negativity in the press, whatever it is. So we want to make sure the teaching and learning experience happens. And I believe that the students and faculty are appreciative of that when they see us making sure it's working and going through there. So your whole process you've gone through was just gross failure at all the different project management and leadership aspects of that whole thing. But because they removed the people that are responsible for that service from the delivering of the service, which is kind of crazy.
Like, why would you not want our help?
Right.
I just don't. I think that because we
know
all
better,
the work,
Justin.
Yeah,
that dude has a clipboard
for so many years,
and he flew in here from somewhere else, so he must.
That guy got off a plane.
Because they're from somewhere else, they have to know more than us. They're more experienced than us. It's that true. Whole.
There is that.
They don't really. Western doesn't know the team that they have. Like, our teams can run circles around most integrators. Like, they're A-team integrators.
What's your service catalog look like, sir?
I think every so often, I go through here too. Every so often, it's like they have to test the waters again.
Like, maybe these guys don't know what they're doing.
Well, they're like, or the last couple of things. It's like, man, every time, and usually it's a project management process a problem where we're not brought in during discovery, so we don't hear what the needs are.
And I get that happens a lot.
It does. But then when we do get involved, what happens? Change order money. You guys, every time you get involved, is change order and money, and we say things like, "Well, it wouldn't have been if we were included 5 months earlier." And it's I do. It's like every 5 or 6 years, I have one of these, not quite this extreme. Where it's like they test the waters, they go solo, the campus project management, and then they find out after the fact that, well, this has cost us a lot of money because nobody told us. Okay, and then we have to have the big meetings that say, can we please get involved earlier? It really helps us go. We do know what we're talking about.
They ask you all the things that you told them years ago.
The polite ways to say, I told you so.
Yeah.
Right?
So Jamie, I got two things on that. So one, absolutely. And it seems for us, every 5 years, we get a project manager who decides low bid is best bid. And then about 2 years later, we go, we're never doing that again. And it's just, it's a cycle, right? But I had two jobs, one during COVID time, one immediately after. And it was a rush job, as they all are. And someone said, well, we're going to use the same architect and the same construction management company and the same design consultants, and we're going to do it again across the street.
Yep.
And the GCs took IT out of the submittal process because, quote, that Chris guy, all he does is cause problems and cause change orders. And so we're building the second building, and we're not getting any documentation. My network team doesn't know how many switches are supposed to be provided because they've never seen a port count. And we go to the meeting, we go, hey, when are we going to get submittals? And the GC goes, oh, well, to add you to the submittal process this late in the game, that would be a change order. And my colleague in networking, he knows the game, and he goes,
okay,
great,
fine.
Write it up. And it goes all the way up to the university architect.
Yeah.
And it goes across his desk, and he goes, what is this? And they go, oh, that's the change order to make IT a part of the submittal workflow. Well, he shut that down incredibly fast, but it was one of those things where, all right, we'll play the game. We have to make it go up, and it's going to come down even faster than it went up. Yeah.
And so it's crazy and that's kind of always these official problems.
In my experience, honestly, it's the construction management company, like their buy-in to our services is that's the level of success, right?
And part of that's a good point, Chris. And part of that comes from the direction of leadership, because guess who they're working for? They're working for you, the university.
Yes.
Right.
But if you've got a PM who,
but their direction is coming from somewhere else, saying, "Don't allow these people in; they cause problems."
But so if you have a PM who's maybe going through a bumpy divorce and is sitting in the passenger seat, and the construction company is driving that bus off the cliff, you're going to get really bad results because no one's pulling the wheel back to center.
There's no vested interest in this whole thing.
And that's purely hypothetical. That would never have happened to my kids.
Right. Yeah.
So
far-fetched.
But and no one is going to listen to IT about choosing a construction management company. What the hell does IT know about that, right?
But let's look at this. Let's look at this. A way that I have to deal with frequently is that because we do our own integrations, we're not actually part of the contractor's contract. So we do technically save them money, but we're outside of their sphere of control, right? And there are many times, and maybe I don't think I'm the only one, that we and our departments and our services thrive in the gray area. So your schedule ran long. Okay, we'll be here on Monday, right?
We can clean up a lot of slop.
Yes, if we're not done on the first day of class, we know what the minimum base level of use is, and then we improve on it because we own it for the rest of its life.
And you're right next to that system. You're right there.
Those are gray areas that the contractor doesn't have typically.
Yeah, the contractors
also
don't
live in the
thrive
gray
in
area
ambiguity.
where
they need things to be very black and white.
We're not on a schedule. We are not always in the sub meetings. We're not getting... And so I think that gray area hurts us as much as it helps us, and it's usually in the construction phase. I've also been where the GC didn't have any idea that we were even included. They knew there was electrical. There's a T-sheet set inside of the building plans, but since they didn't have to physically sign the contracts as a sub, they didn't even know we existed. So they just assumed magic was going to have. It's like your mom complains all the time. Who's going to do these dishes? The magic shore elf? Well, yeah, we're the elf,
right?
And so I think that convolutes the issue a little bit.
Yeah, it's all about money.
And I love living in that gray area, but man, sometimes I think that also causes our problems. And I try to recognize that with administration because I think they like the gray area too, but they hate it that there's no control.
Well, you have a lot of new folks that are to the game, project managers. I think we've seen a lot of turnover, like a lot of folks. And then you get folks that are coming in. Hey, I'm the new cowboy here. I'm going to save so much money on this project. I'm going to look good.
I'm going to cut all kinds of
shit. So they go
shit.
into it and they know if they can just say, hey, you know what, we're we're working with this architectural firm. They have this in-house and blah, 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 blah. And they're just going to say, hey, we're trying to do this for the least amount of money as possible, right? So bang, architect hears that. We're going to not involve anybody we don't need to involve. We've already set the stage. We're doing it for the least amount. How many times have you ever heard a project manager come and say, hey, we're trying to do this project and pay the industry normal? We want to just fit right down the middle. We want this building to be the same price as everything else we've ever done. Never. It's always we're doing it on a budget. We don't have. It never is that we're spending more than we should.
But it's got to be the best.
It's got to be the best ever. But we have no money, and so those are happening well before any of these coordinated meetings have even kicked off. They are like in the courtship of this whole thing between these firms, and you have a PM who doesn't even know who they should be talking to on campus. They're talking to architectural firms who have all these embedded contracts with designers and integration firms, and all they've heard is we're doing it the cheapest possible. Cool. That just gave them carte blanche to just run and do whatever the hell they want. And then they're not going to include it. And they know if I stop and ask a question, change order, it's going to come in. So yeah, we love change orders because guess what? Ching, ching, ring the register. We'll do it all day long. However, I can also just not say anything, continue to do what I'm going to do, and just keep the lion's share of this money. So it's not in anybody's best interest to involve any of y'all because you've all experienced it already and said, oh, we're just more expensive and add cost to this. And so
actually, it's now the opposite based on our project because of how inflated that building is. Sure. And then I'm doing the same.
You're going to do it again.
I'm doing it though, and not the consultant, but it's the same.
But they had to learn a lesson.
People,
right?
They learned their lesson, and now they're seeing my cost, and they're like,
But they're not doing what they're doing to spite any of you all or any of us. They're doing it because they think they're being the champion and saving costs for doing the thing.
They think they're doing it fast and cheap,
right.
and we're like screaming and waving red flags, and they're like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right, because they know if they stop and involve you, it's going to be a change. It's going to bring all this different things to it.
We could have saved money.
That ship's already sailed. You weren't there at the onset of the courtship when they were out to dinner doing their things and having their party at the construction managers meeting forum in Key Largo, wherever the hell it was. You weren't there, right? And so
in the design review meeting, I said I can remove $2,200 of boxes out of this lectern, and the faculty and no one would ever know the difference.
Right.
What do you mean?
That's just Justin and his crazy ass harebrained AV shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. If he was really in construction management, he would have been with me in Key Largo when we were having hurricane drinks.
And he wouldn't be working at Western. He'd be making more money somewhere else. And if he was really smart, maybe own his own business doing this shit. I don't.
Those are awful specific examples.
We got there.
Again.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. That's a different show.
How do you
maybe.
feel about it, though?
You seem upset.
Anyway.
We're here to help, and you push us away. And we could have saved you, and you won't allow us to save you. So I don't know what else to do for you.
So we're coming down from the rafters. We're parachuting in. Cat 5 reel, adapters, maybe a projector. Is that what I heard?
We can make
gaff tape.
All that stuff happen overnight.
Love it.
Like easily in a
building
only full of classrooms.
If you have TCO and you're allowed to get on prim.
But if we're
otherwise, you're outside the window with a bag of popcorn just watching the bird.
I see boxes. That box isn't opened.
All right.
Like, that's not good.
We had a job very recently, and I'm going to have to be deliberately vague here. There were SMU folks moving in to their offices wearing yellow vests and hard hats because we didn't have a TCO yet. And I was sitting there going, what? And they're a very powerful group of people on campus with a very firm deadline, and they were going. And I was like, how in the world can that be his office? And they go, oh, he's wearing a hard hat. It's cool. I was like,
TCOs are very political.
Well, we didn't know.
Very political.
We were on a TCO for a year, and we didn't know because the building manager got let go during a restructuring, and he didn't tell anybody. And so the fire marshal shows up, and they're like, hey, we got to get this on permanent. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, you were on a temporary for a year, and nobody knew. That was a little bit wild. Obviously, that was an addition by subtraction with that person no longer being around. My favorite quote of that guy is, we don't need no fancy lighting control system. Just give me 20 light switches in a row. And
I like that guy. Let's do that.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong.
No labels.
Which one's the front? God damn it.
we had an electrician on campus who went through and dutifully labeled things, but based on cardinal direction. So it said like there was like
North,
7 switches.
south,
It was like northeast bank B, and people were like,
It's like I got to have a compass to
"What's that mean?"
like turn the damn lights on in this building.
So credit to the guy for doing it, but yeah.
We have a very large building that was opened that has a commercial lighting system, and there's a little 4-inch touchscreen in every classroom. But the lighting control programmer, who will not be named, didn't want to use scenes, and so everything is the alphanumeric designator from their plans. And so the instructors don't know how to turn on the lights because they don't know what load
malicious compliance
jbox.01d means.
Yes.
And I said,
hilarious.
I said, can you imagine if my AV system just said HDMI input 2 to HDMI output 1, and I didn't say projector or laptop or PC?
Yeah.
People would riot. But for
You
some
just
reason,
described like half of higher ed.
Yes.
yeah.
Because they're taking that.
That guy just got yelled at, or girl, whoever, by their boss, and was like, "Oh yeah, I'll get the job done. Yeah, watch this."
Well, no, I asked him. I said, how the hell did this get approved? Where's the submittals? They go, "Oh, Chris, there's no submittals for lighting control." I was like, "What?
There's no crying in baseball."
I'm going to do that now.
Like it's too late in the game. Who needs submittals right now?
That was
Right.
catharsis.
Oh no, that's
yeah.
a custom program. That's a change order.
Love it.
So let me ask this high-level question of everybody, for everyone on the panel here.
Oh boy.
Let's say, new construction, whatever it may be, big remodel, whatever, but it's not a classroom space. So you don't have that like classes start a week from Monday sort of thing.
Let it burn.
That's my question. Like it's an event space, it's a dorm, it's a research building, it's lab spaces, whatever it is, with the same challenges we've just discussed for the last 45 minutes.
Can't do that. It's the same. It's the same thing.
No, it's different.
How is it different? What if it's
just
more
different.
money? What if it's more money? What if a classroom has 6 students in it and this room has 500 students for events and they pay and now
The
it's
event
like a big
space is
feature.
different 'cause that
now
could
it
be
matters. Now
some-
it matters, Larry.
I'm just saying, like, if it's an office
Not
or
wrong.
something like
You're not
that,
wrong.
conference room, they can hold a Zoom call
So
on their lap.
I think the reality of that, if you had an event space attached to it, it's probably not a good example. If you had an event space, my guess is that event space was also going to be planned to be used for the grand opening.
Exactly.
And it's higher.
Yep.
Which was
than
scheduled
the
2 years ago.
classrooms.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's a
Exactly.
bad example. I think we've done staged deliveries where we've focused on prioritizing learning spaces, lab spaces, and then collaborative spaces. And that's kind of the hierarchy of which we will deliver them. And if they're not all done day one, then guess who's going to be in there working during a term?
Well, I remember in our student union, we were, the integrator wasn't done. We were kind of helping them because we were involved in all of that good stuff. And, the event for opening the building, I remember myself and Matt were there that night running the event for him to make sure no screens blinked. No audio dropped out. We were there. We were bought in. When you tell us we don't want you here, okay. You got what you
Malicious
asked
compliance.
for.
Yes.
Malicious compliance. So we've done these things before. Like Matt was in the back closet pushing buttons on the rack, and I was out there with a laptop.
He was your remote routing system.
Yeah, we were
Call it in, text it.
we were texting each other.
HDMI 1 to
No,
output 3, go.
Input 3, output 4, 5, 6, go.
Change over to the other input now. So yeah, it was.
Give me a slow fade, star wipe. What the
It
hell's going
wasn't
on
fun,
back there?
but guess what? No one said anything. The event went on. No problems happened that were perceived. All good.
There we go.
So, anyways,
So it sounds like,
Summarize that for us, Chris. Be our
yeah, so
AI
we'll summarize the
component,
last 45 minutes here of depends what we do.
please.
So
We got down to if you're legally allowed and you have occupancy, go ahead.
and
If
you have
not,
buy-in.
no one's
And you
looking.
have
no one's
buy-in.
looking, if you have buy-in,
You get
other than
buy-in.
that, dress in black and rappel down from the ceilings and plan accordingly.
Or carry a briefcase and a clipboard. And know
Or
where to
yeah,
last
but
name.
yeah,
Ooh, yes.
to make all this not happen, fly in with a briefcase and a clipboard and convince people you know what you're talking about. Meet them in Key Largo.
but you have to quit your job first, working for the university, and then just come in
Do
like
you
as
though?
a different person. And be like, oh,
Which
A
you know what you're
briefcase
talking
carries
about.
a lot of weight.
Mustache.
You'd be
This
surprised.
is my cousin Schmuston.
It would be easier just to
have
change
a
your
mustache.
shirt. Just
Like-
come in with, consultant written on there. And
Yeah. I have a
who
T-shirt
are
that
you?
says
I'm the
consultant.
consultant.
I'm
You
tape
look
over
like
your
the guy from
consultant.
IT.
WKU
No, not me.
shirt.
I'm a consultant.
Other guy.
That is, Jamie, that would be the only way that we could have helped is like if we would have jumped the integrator and stole their jerseys, did the laundry first,
they
then
wear
put them on,
jerseys?
Wait for him in the parking lot.
jump in
So
to the
Coming off the bench, number 22. Get in there.
coming on off the
sure
bench.
that the
Look,
integrator-
you look familiar. I'm the other integrator. Like we're the A team from Atlanta.
the
Oh,
integrator's probably looking at you like,
Who are
dude,
these guys? Don't
here's
you-
my tools. Here's my shirt. I'll be at the diner.
I'm sure they were probably
This is
looking
like
for
a
Tell me when you
80s
clock out
movie
so that
all
I
over
can
it,
turn
man,
it
yeah.
in.
They were. I guarantee you they wanted our help. Guarantee you they wanted our help.
Oh, man.
I'm picturing Justin in tearaway cargo pants, so we can just quick change.
Let's go.
It's the
We can do
skinny
it,
jeans
man.
under that that's kind
We're
of
not.
gross.
We're not scared to work now. We can't be, disrespected.
Oh, talk about ethics
Wow.
now. Come on now.
And
With
pushed
the
away.
time
Respect now.
ethics
We've
of
all
AV
got a line.
installation.
Yeah.
All right. Feel good about that, Chris? You got your answer? Summary? AI summary? Put that out.
Yeah, we'll just say I summarize that. I'll pump that into Zoom. We'll get a summary
It's
out of it.
diapers. It depends.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break since we solved that one. We're going to take a quick break.
Clearly.
We're going to hear about a new product from our fabulous sponsor, Independent Amalgamated.
Seasonal.
Seasonal sponsor.
Is this the new one?
And then we're going to come back and we're going to
Okay,
talk about some
fine.
multi-purpose spaces and some of the nonsense going on there.
This fall, your AV system just got a whole lot cozier. Introducing the Independent Amalgamated Limited Edition Pumpkin Spice AV Collection. Why should your coffee have all the fun? Picture this: rich amber LEDs, cinnamon-tinted cable jackets, and the unmistakable aroma of nutmeg wafting from your lavalier mic every time you clip it on. From presentation switchers that crunch like piles of fallen leaves when they change sources, to cameras that autofocus only on flannel. This season, your classrooms and meeting rooms aren't just smart, they're deliciously festive. But act fast. This pumpkin spice gear will disappear faster than decorative gourds at a farmer's market. Available through November or until the first snowfall. Pumpkin Spice AV Fall into better conferencing. From Independent Amalgamated. Not compatible with summer firmware. May cause sudden cravings for pie. Use in moderation, please.
That flannel comment's so stupid.
Now, hold on.
First snowfall here last week, by the way. So.
I was like,
Flannel.
didn't it already snow there?
Yeah, I was watching your football game. I was like, is this last year's game? Is that white snow on the ground? Yeah, it is.
Wyoming, man. Come up to 8,000 feet. It's nice up here.
No.
Been there.
Chris
So
was
we're
like, snow? What?
yeah, it's called summer.
We get it once a year, and it shuts the entire city down because no one can drive.
Panic.
Yeah, same.
They can't drive in the summer.
All right, yeah.
So for our short closer topic here,
Timer on this one.
going to put timer on this one. How many
What are we
things do I have to
talking
do?
about? Where's my notes?
Your most
you
recent
want-
project headache.
What?
No.
Oh, that was just the thing that we just did.
No, we're not doing that again.
Hold on, give me. So the question is, what do we do about those fun kind of multi-use spaces? Not a multi-purpose space in the traditional sense, but like a multi-use space where you're like, you know what? This is a nice big auditorium. They got comfortable seating here. Let's do some surround sound. Or maybe you get it the other direction where somebody says, hey, since this is our nice big auditorium, we want to do movie night. So we want movie audio in here. Let's get some more speakers in here. We
Voice
want
of the theater.
I've got a simple solution.
we
here.
want a cinema experience in here. Never mind, you're just using a regular projector and all that fun stuff. But we've all done it. We've all done it different ways. Sometimes it's our idea. Sometimes it's not our idea. And sometimes we have to
never
fix
our
one
idea.
that, well, it has been. Sometimes we have to fix stuff that was like sort of half-assed years ago. And you're like, well, it's already there and I can kind of make it work better or whatever. So what's our approach on this?
Sort of has-ass.
It's real easy.
Okay.
So
How easy?
unless you are a film nerd, film studies, or use one of those keywords, and you actually come from that said department that I know you do that shit,
And you still-
you
you
say you
still
want
suck at
surround
it,
sound,
yeah.
you're getting speakers everywhere, and you're not going to know the
We
difference.
call that surrounded
Easy.
by sound.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like you just want surround sound. You want speakers around you. Yeah. But I need it to be surround sound. You're like, sure, I'll make that
How
happen.
many of
Where's
you
the other
like raise your hand? Have you had the
There it
experience?
is.
You've
Trying
done
to get the thing on the screen.
You've done
with
the
everybody.
full on surround sound decoded system and whatever it is. And technically it all works. And then what shows up the very first day that is expected to be in every one of those speakers? I just want this YouTube video to be playing.
Oh, through all the speakers.
I plugged in
That's
the
why you
1/8-inch
do-
connector. Why is it not coming out all these things?
That's why you do mono everywhere.
And then you end up having to have this conversation about encoding
Everybody's
and
happy.
decoding and all, and they're all just like, UAV
What?
guys
But
making
my-
things way complicated again.
But I just buy my $500 receiver and
Right, I put
that
it in
works at home.
straight or pass-through mode, and it all just comes out everywhere.
PCM, Mark.
Yeah,
PCM.
and so, and then you talk to like your programmer, and you're like, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It decodes the surround sound and it passes everything
If
through
the
the
surround
distributor.
sound's
Right,
not
it's that-
there, then it does what it
Exactly,
does.
but
So
clients have zero awareness of that, and they expect everything to be everywhere all the time because if they can see it, it better be on and working.
and that's what we give them. They don't care if they hear the elephant out of this speaker and the giraffe out of that
They
one.
want to
just
hear it out
want-
of all of them everywhere.
So
that's easy.
Mark, we have this exact situation, and it was the art history department and the film department need to share a space because they both like high quality projection. Not my words. And we had that exact situation you described about where's my laptop, where's this, and it was in the design criteria that the users have the ability to change the decoding mode, and there were this many presets.
Whoa!
Integrator just said, "I'm not doing it. That's stupid." And I said,
I'm taking the money.
That's probably the right
F you.
answer.
Correct.
And that feature does not exist to this day. And
But are the buttons there?
No,
Damn,
It doesn't do anything.
Yes, that's like the monitor thing. Oh, you need more in your how's that sound? Oh, good. Yeah, I didn't do anything. Yeah.
So this winter, we're ripping the whole thing out, and the film department is buying their own surround sound processor, a consumer level unit.
Perfect.
And I said, I'm not going to try to control it because I'm not going to do it right. My responsibility ends at this HDMI cable. Like, y'all
perfect.
choose your own adventure.
I mean,
is what I've told them.
Do you ever go? And Justin, this is like your platform here, but do you ever go down the accessibility road in these surround sound rooms? Like, why would we want to have one space have access to a certain content and another space not have
No,
access
because
to
I
it?
lied to
and maybe
him.
even like
Like,
hard stereo being the case. Like,
And
do
now
you
we
want
know
this
why they
side
don't
to
want
have
you
a different
there.
experience than that side of the auditorium? Is that a thing?
No, you're right. It is a thing, Mark. But I mean, that gets into audio coverage uniformity standards. You throw in ADA stuff, you can mitigate that because of hearing assistance. I mean, that's mono. So, I mean, that doesn't matter. It's just, I've never had that argument because if somebody brings it up, it's usually in a higher end space. It's been brought up 3 or 4 times on our campus. We've done it 3 times in each space. And we have one actual surround sound out of the 3. The others is just
Speakers
Whatever.
rolling out sound everywhere.
yeah, like, and they're all happy with everything they got.
Right. Because to them, they're like, cool. Everybody, they're
But
hearing it everywhere.
we force mono on certain sources, and the only one that does have true surround sound is like the Blu-ray player, and maybe
Yeah,
that
I think
was
Well,
it.
we've
because
all
a
done
lot
that
of them
weird
don't.
thing too, yeah.
A lot of them don't pass it. Even if you tried to do it with every source, the PCs
yeah, we have
don't
to
all
force it.
Yeah, the PCs don't all reliably output multi-channel. Transmission systems, HD base TAV over repeat, don't all reliably output
They're
multi-channel.
capable of it, but they just it all
Some
depends on the
are,
source.
some aren't. It depends
Yeah.
on how it's done. So,
for those of you who do that, where you are doing it, where does that decoder sit in your chain? But this is an important question. I know, like under the hood,
Like,
where you have that
right before the
decoder.
amp?
yeah, it's
you're
like
doing right before the
decoder
amp?
out into the amplifier.
I did not do that.
Right, right
before the
amp.
DSP.
I do mine
Yeah,
before the
before
DSP,
the DSP.
and not at the
Yeah.
last link. Because I think that's important because if you do that, it gets all wacky. Go ahead, Chris. Get in here.
DSP, most, and pretty much across the board too. DSPs do not maintain the surround sound timing if you're doing that.
Right, and that's where you get into cheating it, and this is
Yeah,
like what I'm talking
okay.
about. Like this is like unless you get into a full certified thing, which I'm not going down that route. We don't have time to go down that route.
So I
right
did
now.
one room that way with a cinema processor, with the cinema amplifiers, with the cinema speaker cabinets, all that stuff. But only, and they know this, that comes from the Blu-ray player. So that chain all the way through is certified. Anything else you do in there, because most of them just go in and run YouTube, Disney, Hulu, all that stuff. You're
And then
getting
blacks
stereo
out
because
We looked at
that's
that schematic together, Chris.
Yeah,
You were
we
asking
looked at
both,
it.
like last year. I
it was
remember
like
that
3 years
shit.
ago. Yeah.
3 years ago? God, time flies, man.
So, Chris, I want to ask you though, if in that scenario, the number one part of this question was multi-purpose space. For us, a multi-purpose space has a microphone.
I just, I don't mix surround sound with multi-purpose. So I take that back. Like that was the whole start of this conversation. The surround
Redacting
sounds
everything
that
you
I've
said
done,
for the last 5 minutes.
Well, I
Striking it
forgot
from the
that
record.
variable. Like I forgot it was multi-purpose. Everything that we've done surround sound is like
intentional?
set up as a theater. It's very
Theaters need mics.
They sure do.
not
So
this-
so Chris, to your
not
point,
this
so I
one,
have
this one
two
doesn't.
spaces where we've deliberately in recent years done surround. And one of them we said, okay, look, this is a screening room, but we're still going to have some limitations here, so it will work this way in this sort of scenario. The other one, which is a big auditorium, and this was, hey, the plumbing was there, we put the speakers in, all that, so we did it with you have to deliberately switch to movie mode to get surround sound, because otherwise you get 2 channels. So to your question, when you're in movie mode, you get no microphones because you're making that call to we're going to movie mode. A lot of stuff turns off. When you're in class mode, you get, the more traditional, you get 2 channels up front, your microphones, your assisted listening, all that stuff. So actually assisted listening does work during movie mode because it just takes a mono mix. But yeah, so, and that was
Put
what
in
we
regular
found
voice
though.
lift and be done with it.
Well, what we found though, interestingly enough, is a lot of the processors, even when you're looping through, I'll turn all the processing off and you're still going through there's that slight amount of latency that's induced in that signal chain, even when the processing's off. And you get that kind of weird thing, you do when you're doing any sort of production, you can see the iMag screen, but you can see the person with the mic, and you're like, there's this weird, what is a 1/8 of a second difference in my brain's going weird because I can see it. Anyone farther back doesn't care, but if you're close enough and you can see, you're like, what's happening? That happens all the time if you can see the person on the screen because of that induced latency with the processing. So don't ever do that.
Calls out that differentiation of where you sit in that environment it's not equal, right? You have these varying experiences based on where you chose to sit in a space because they're all
middle.
Oh, but that's also a classroom. It's multi-purpose, but it's also a classroom, and so it never. I don't know. We've dumbed them down more often than not.
Okay, so I'm coming to you guys from my theater here in my house.
5.1.
We've all done the surround
Am I in
sound
every one of your
calibration.
speakers right now? I better be.
Please.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
But like you,
stereo.
Yeah, multi-mono,
Justin-
right
like
here and right
Justin
here,
said.
buddy.
Exactly, as all audio is.
He's going to start flexing in a minute. Right here and right here.
Like Justin said, middle, right? Even
Middle.
Odyssey, Dirac, whatever calibration you do, it only works for one seat, right? It'll average out the others, but there is one perfect seat where everything's in time.
There's a group of 4 in the movie theaters that I've tested. I've got my calibration unit sitting there. Wife's looking at me like, you're crazy. And
Middle of the movie, you're like, hey,
4
buddy,
seats.
I'm going to hold
Right in
this
the
over
middle.
here from just
Pause it.
don't-
The movie goes over. Hold on.
Yeah.
We only have 3 seats, Justin, so I'm obviously just going to
3,
stop.
nice.
Clearly,
So your sample size is low. So you're for one. I get it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, DINK, baby, the only way to live.
Oh man. Okay.
That's Justin's method
Yeah.
too. So.
Yep.
So I think it's
And 27
Sometimes.
dogs.
so. But
Sometimes.
we brought up that monophonic thing before.
The monophonic who?
All of it.
What about
Stereo or mono?
Monoroll?
It depends on the space.
Oh, you mean in our
we've
surround sound spaces? It's
successfully-
mono everywhere. Look at all this mono. I've
Mono
got
and mono
going.
here. Like, are we?
We've successfully in a couple of
Does stereo
large
belong in teaching learning
auditoriums,
space? Yes or no?
350 seats. We
Say
have
it again, Mark.
stereo, true stereo.
Does true stereo belong in a teaching learning space?
Arguably, no.
Depends on the space.
Oh,
Most of the time, no.
90% of my classrooms are 8-ohm stereo.
Really?
Oh, you work at Oregon State.
Got that Pacific money going
So
there.
yeah, I think we do because I think that's an easy deployment. I don't think it's designed for left, right, making sure. And we're not listening to the Beatles and these things. I'm not trying to do
Which
that.
was recorded in mono. by
Right,
the way.
exactly. And then moved in post.
We have asbestos in the ceiling, so we can only put speakers in the sheetrock walls.
Yeah,
So we
it's
just don't
easy,
do 70
right?
volt.
Yeah, it's easy to do that. And so, but are you intentionally saying, oh no, we're going to make sure we're designing around stereo to preserve the stereo space, or is it just like it's just ease of moving air through the room because that's our physical constraints?
No, it was absolutely path of least resistance. Quite frankly, there were stereo speakers hung in the rooms when I got the job. So when we're upgrading, we're like, what are we doing? Well, they're JBLs. They still work. Keep going.
Right, they'll work forever. Yeah.
Once a year, I'll get a bee in my bonnet and go check and be like, hey, is left and is right? And then when I hear it out of both channels, I go, that's why I don't do these tests. And I just walk away.
Summed together. No, it's interesting. I didn't know it. Like, are there people who are adamantly like, no, we have got to have stereo because my content is going to be stereo, and I want the left half of the class to get all the kick drum, and I want the right half of the class to get only the snare. And so
we have a master's in video game design and programming.
That sounds like a lab to me.
No. It's a school. It's its own thing.
But they're in their own secured environment. Do not let those people out of there. Yeah.
Yes. These people are so crazy. They once told me that they can see the latency on the screen from too long of an HDMI cable. I said, you're wasting your superpowers here.
Mountain Dew and Doritos will do crazy shit to people.
Yes. But like all modern audio systems, every classroom, mono 70 volt. They were in that system for 2 years. They go, Chris, this Crestron NVX thing is programmed wrong. Everything is mono. And I was like, nope, it's doing exactly what it should be. Everything is mono. And they threw a fit. And we had to rip it all out and give them full range stereo with 2 subwoofers in every classroom in the ceiling so that they could have stereo classrooms because we were negatively impacting their ability to program the game by not being able to program stereo.
I would have went down that physics road and battled that fight.
Yeah, you can't tell me that
I
subwoofer
lost the latency
can.
fight, Justin. I wasn't going to win this. Like once the latency horse
mathed it out.
I would have mathed that out.
It doesn't work like that. No.
Look.
Physics, bro.
At some point, just give it to them.
Yeah, you got to choose your battle.
Yep.
Like they asked for it. They
It's
came
the
up with the
principle
coin.
of the
If they paid for it, I'll give it to him, but I'm still going to
I've
match
told
that out and
lots
be
of
like,
people,
that's
like,
not
this is
how
a
physics
terrible
works.
idea. That's not really how it works, but all right.
Jamie, why wouldn't you do the full range speakers and the subwoofers and all that and just still feed it mono?
Well, I normally do.
and roll it off at like 100.
Roll it at 150. There you go.
Nothing. I'm just like, not even on. What is going on up there?
When we had a physical media deck, and when we were running analog audio out of the computers, and there was really left and right, and when you watched YouTube videos, there was really left and right. I did have a set of stereo speakers up front, and then voice lift mono up top, right above your head. Now that all changed when they started using USB and then the speakerphone in and out of the computers in order to do conferencing. We don't let them switch from one USB stream to the other. Like they get the speakerphone one so that they can use it in Teams, Zooms, whatever. That's all mono all the time. So it's having that separation with no physical media player doesn't matter anymore. And so that's where it really starts getting goofy. Is like, well, that's great. You want stereo, except it only comes out of your computer mono anyway. So whatever. And we go about put on headphones. You want that? Put on headphones.
Aren't headphones dual mono? Didn't I read that somewhere that they're not actually stereo?
Depends
on what they're plugged into.
The entire world is mono.
Yeah, everything is mono.
So, I'm
mono. Good point.
I used to be
make it up as stereo.
I have a set of stereo headphones back here, and sometimes it's weird just listening to music when it's true stereo. You're like, oh my, okay, the song. All right, I got it. Yeah, I'm good now. My headphones
like recalibrate.
No, we're good. Yeah.
Okay. Dirty little secret. Bam. It's all mono.
There it is. We fixed that too.
Got to the end of it, Chris. We did it. Nice short show.
That's right. So you answered all the questions, solved all the problems.
Got to the bottom of it. Got to the root of all these problems. So. Congratulations.
Well, I think this is a good opportunity for us to shut the heck up and get out of here.
Go back. Get out of here. Shut down.
See you, bye.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, you can just leave right now, but we got this whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back.
Stare at each other awkwardly.
No, next week we're at ETC. We don't know what we're doing next week. We'll figure it out.
I know exactly what we're doing next week. Oh, Chris, I'm driving. I'm not flying, by the way.
Well, we've managed to ruin yet another episode of AV Super Friends Off the Rails. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com. If if you complain loud enough, we might just invite you on the show.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV Super Friends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.